right, let's move on down to the D line. AJ, where are you going here?
Well, with defensemen, I really like to try and target players with a solid floor. Like there are a handful of guys that will score every night, but it's only a couple of guys. So when you look at shot totals, Darnell Nurse, who comes in at 5,800 on tonight's slate, is second in the league in shots over the last month. Yes, he has just 1 point in his last 6 contests, but again, those shot and block totals just make him look like a viable option here, especially when you're not paying like Chris Letang prices at 6,900. If you're going to use Letang, he's got to get a point, right? You can maybe get by and justify at 5,800 Darnell Nurse having just a high shot, high block total and getting you those 4 points in this one.
All right, what do we think, Pete? Where are you going on the D line?
I'm really encouraged by what I've seen from Jakob Chychrun for the Coyotes over the past couple of games, back-to-back multi-point games. Had an assist with a couple of shots and a couple of blocks when the Coyotes beat the Avalanche in a shootout on February 1st. And we all know, right, the direction the Coyotes right now in terms of probably going to sell some players at the deadline. The biggest asset they have is not an expiring contract. It's Jakob Chychrun. So he's playing to boost his trade stock. He's had a miserable season in terms of living up to his top 15, top 20 fantasy expectations at the defenseman position from last year when he was an elite goal scorer at the position and everything else across the board. The Coyotes have less talent around them, even in a difficult matchup against the Avalanche. I think he's worth spending up for in the $5,000 range at a scarce position, and he'll get you the category coverage even if they get blown out in this game, I think.
All right, Paul, what are we doing here on defense?
Well, I like the calls that the boys have made here in the position, so I'm only going to add a couple other options for people to think about. If you go high end and want to continue that Florida stack that I've been touting, I don't know how you avoid not including Aaron Ekblad. 10 points and 33 shots in his last 10 games played, even throws out a lot of blocks. So that's why his DraftKings point total is averaging around 14.5 in his last 10 starts. And you can't fade Cale Makar if you got room for him. Another 14 points in his last 10 games played, all assists, but who cares? They still count. And he's got the nice matchup against Arizona. If you're looking for a bit of a contrarian play, go a little bit lower and take a look at Noah Dobson. He's an unheralded guy on the Islanders defense, 8 points and 29 shots on goal for him. And he's hosting Vancouver tonight. A favorable matchup, I think, for the Isles.